Hola Spain lovers, Stuart here with another video coming to you from the capital city of this country, Madrid. And today we're going to talk about security, safety in this country, especially when it comes to pickpockets. Now before I start, yes, Spain is one of the safest countries in Europe, but it's also a paradise for pickpockets, especially in the big cities and the main tourist areas. Every year, thousands of tourists to Spain report that they have had their wallets stolen, their phones stolen, or even their passports and identity documents stolen, often within minutes of arriving. And let's be honest, being the victim of a pickpocket here in Spain can be a real inconvenience. And I get it, you're here to enjoy the sun, you're here to enjoy the sights, the beautiful architecture, and not be holding on to your bag like your life depends on it, right? So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to avoid getting robbed here in Spain by showing you some of the key places where thieves operate and some of the simple tricks that you can take to stay one step ahead of those sneaky thieves. So, first up, where are you at most risk as far as pickpockets and other types of crime are concerned here in Spain? Well, the short answer is anywhere crowded. Now, before I start talking about this, I'm going to say that in general, Spain is a safe country. But of course, there are always a few spots where you need to be extra careful. I've lived in Spain for more than 25 years, and over those 25 years, I have never been the victim of street crime. But in a big city like Madrid or Barcelona here in Spain, that could change at any time. Okay, so risky place number one, football stadiums. Today is not a game day, but on game day, this is a prime spot where pickpockets are at work. Or even today, because this particular stadium that I have behind me here, the Real Madrid stadium, the Santiago Bernabeu stadium, has become a very popular tourist destination. So in this area here, be careful of scammers and pickpockets. And a typical scam around football stadiums would be people selling false tickets, false merchandising. For example, the people that I have behind me there selling the jerseys. Be careful of that. Now, another hotspot here in Spain for street crime, pickpocketing, is going to be places like this one here that I have behind me, the Madrid Metro or the Barcelona Metro, or other metro stations around the country. These are particularly bad. Not every line, of course, but certain lines and certain stations can be very bad. For example, Nuevos Ministerios here in Madrid. Why is that the case? Well, two important lines come through this metro station. There's also a train station here as well, but the two metro lines that come through here, the two main metro lines, line number 10 and line number 8, are pickpocketing hotspots. And the reason this station is a pickpocket's paradise is because the line to the airport leaves from here, line number 8, and of course lots of tourists are on that metro line. Okay, another tourist hotspot and also a place where pickpockets are doing their thing here in Madrid, Plaza de España, but this could be any of the squares around Spain, whether it is in Madrid, Barcelona, Palma de Mallorca. All of these places here in Spain have similar tourist destinations where people come to look at the sights. And as I said, this is a pickpocketer's paradise. And the reason is because this is a tourist hotspot. There are hotels all around, good restaurants, and people come here to look at the sites like this one behind me here. So always be cautious, have your wits about you, and be on the lookout in places like this here in Spain. And other similar places in Madrid are, for example, the Puerta del Sol, probably Madrid's most famous square, a magnet for tourists and pickpockets alike. You'll often see scammers there pretending to be deaf, selling bracelets or asking for donations. Madrid's Plaza Mayor is also another pickpocket hotspot. Tourists flock here because of the beautiful architecture, the restaurants and the street performers, but you need to be especially careful sitting at the outdoor terraces. Bags and phones left on tables are easy targets. Street markets in Spain are also a hotspot for street crime. For example, the Rastro market, which takes place on Sundays in Madrid. It's a tradition in the city, but it's also a gold mine for thieves. You need to keep everything zipped and in front of you. And also the main streets and shopping areas, for example, this one here, the Gran Via in Madrid and Calle Preciados, very, very crowded shopping streets. Thieves mix in very, very easily here, especially during sales or at weekends. And other places where you need to be on the lookout too are places like the Royal Palace in Madrid, Cibeles Square, the Retiro Park, and the main train station Atocha, and other train stations like Chamartin also. And in recent times, thieves have become more brazen, and even inside shops have become places where they'll try and get their hands on your goods. So take care in those places too. Okay, I've been joined by my friend Dave, who's from the United States, and he classifies himself as a
Tour loco,
which is
half tourist, half local.
one of the most common tricks that pickpockets use in big cities like Madrid is called the shoulder bump. And basically what they do is they bump you and then they put you off balance. And while you're off balance, somebody has got their hand in your backpack and is stealing your possessions. So be careful of that one. The next method, which has become quite common in recent years, is called the stain method. Somebody will throw something on you, for example, a cup of coffee or a can of Coke. They'll start cleaning it off. And while they're cleaning it off and you are distracted, somebody will try to take your possessions from your bags or your pockets, so be careful of that one. Another common way that thieves will try and get their hands on your possessions, especially in crowded places like the metro or on buses here in Spain, is that they put their jacket over their hands like this on a crowded metro or crowded bus, as I said, and you just think that they're standing there with their jacket over the hands, but while they're standing there, they're also opening up the zips and taking out your possessions. So be careful of that one too. And another thing I'll say is that a lot of the thieves or pickpockets in big cities here in Spain operate in groups. They walk around in groups of 3, 4, sometimes more. They can even be kids, so be careful of that. So if you see yourself surrounded by what you think is a group of thieves, remember, take care. The easiest way to avoid getting robbed, in my opinion, is to keep your possessions in front of you at all times. Keep your eyes on them. Don't have them on your back where you can't see it because you become an easy target. Have them here at the front or on the side, somewhere where you can control the situation. That would be my advice. And Dave's got some advice as well. Dave?
The thing to do also is kind of scan the crowd and look at who might be suspicious. A lot of people are watching you without you realizing it. So you got to kind of be savvy of who is, picking you out.
Scan the crowd. And another thing that I would recommend to keep your possessions safe is keep them in your front pockets. Keep your phone in the front pocket, keep your wallet in your front pocket, and nothing in your back pockets. That would also be my advice. But it's common sense, right? The locals here in Spain, especially in some of the more crowded areas in the cities, tend to stay very aware in public spaces. So watch how they carry their bags and try and do the same thing. Now, if the worst happens and you do end up getting robbed or pickpocketed here in Spain, here's what to do. Firstly, go to the nearest police station. If you're in a city that has local police, go to that police station or to the Policía Nacional, the national police. You'll find police stations all over the city and you'll need to ask to file a denuncia, the official report you'll need for insurance or ID replacement. Another option is to call 112 for emergencies. That's the number for police, ambulance or fire across Spain. You'll also need to cancel your credit cards. Many apps let you freeze them or block them instantly. And it's always a good idea to have digital copies of your passport, ID and travel insurance and back them up somewhere safe online. Spain is also a country full of helpful people, so if you need help, don't be afraid to ask for it. Ask the staff in your hotel to call the police if you need that, or go to the local tourist office and get them to give you a hand. In this place here, you have to be extremely careful. Now, another one of the typical crimes here in Spain, not only here in Spain, but Europe-wide, is the table swipe. Tourists come to a place like this, sit down, put their phones on their table, have their bags on the chairs, and the pickpockets come along, pick up the phones, and away they go. So when you're sitting outdoors or even indoors in a restaurant here in Spain, be very, very careful not to leave your things on the table. And if you do leave your phones and things on the table like that, keep an eye on them at all times. That would be my advice. Now back again with Dave, as he described himself before as a tour local, knows what's happening here in Spain, especially here in Madrid. Dave, what's your impression of Madrid? Is it a safe city as far as street crime is concerned? General opinion?
Generally, I'd say it is, Stu. We've had no problems in the 3 years we've been here. Like you're pointing out today, there's obviously a lot of potential issues, but we've luckily not had any.
Have you noticed a lot more tourists coming to a city like Madrid over those 3 years?
Definitely. Since the pandemic has ended, definitely the gates have opened up. I personally have had a lot of family and friends come to Spain, so yes.
And none of them have had issues either?
No one's had anything but a fabulous time.
And you also mentioned that your wife is fairly on the ball when it comes to this type of thing. She likes to keep an eye out just to see if anybody is a potential thief.
My wife is very savvy. She grew up in the streets of Caracas, Venezuela, so she knows where danger is hiding, and she's very quick to point it out when people are watching and kind of scoping you out.
So there we go. And as I said at the beginning of the video, generally here in Spain, big cities, it's fairly safe, but you've got to be on the lookout for potential thieves. And as we know, crime does happen. So just be savvy, as Dave just said. And it's from this fantastic location, the Retiro Park in the center of Madrid, that I'm going to start to wrap this video up. Spain is one of the most beautiful and most welcoming countries in the whole of Europe. And with a little bit of street smarts, you can enjoy everything that this country has to offer without losing a thing. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. If you have traveled around this country, Spain, and you have been a victim of street crime, let me know in the comment section. I would love to hear what happened to you. And if you're planning a trip to Spain in the near future, let me know some of the things that you will do to avoid things like pickpockets and other types of street crimes. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to help the channel grow, and turn on notifications so that you know every time I post a new video. Until the next one, hasta luego from sunny Spain.